Yay.
The following Radio Gunk broadcast deals with subjects that some viewers might find disturbing. It is intended for mature audiences only. And now, enjoy the show.
What'd you think? You like the opening?
Wee.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Things That Go Gunk in the Night, and happy Halloween to everyone.
Hello, all three people.
I hate that. I don't like that voice. That voice is even creepy. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do.
So in celebration of tonight, what, babe? What?
So just so everybody knows, we're like 5-10 minutes early. So this is kind of like just dicking around time. We'll start the real show like at 10 after, or whatever.
8:05. 8:05 is
8:05.
8:05 is the timing of the show. Yes. 8:05. You know why? You know what? Because I'm so used to all
killers
that.
Piss you off. as opposed to all the people who have warm, lolly, jolly feelings for serial killers.
Serial killers piss me off. Okay. So the topic for today's show is creepy media. And
it is.
And I just had about an hour with X just talking about the different things that he's going to let us hear tonight. I don't really think any of it is serial. Well, a little bit, but not really. It's not really.
Little.
It's not really driven by serial killers this week.
Not at all. This is just literally just disturbing shit. Some people will think it's not that scary or anything. It's not really supposed to be scary. It's just supposed to be like, it's kind of like you're walking around a park and all of a sudden you, in your nice shoes, you stepped on dog shit. Is it gonna kill you? No. It's
kind of like you get into an elevator and you hear somebody fart and it's fully packed and you don't know who did it.
No one's gonna die. It's not gonna be life changing, but it's gonna. Like if you after this show, if you come away with warm fuzzies, then you might want to see a shrink.
These shows do creep me out, I must confess. When we started talking about what we were going to do as our topic for tonight a couple of days ago. Well,
yes.
We've been talking about these for weeks because we talk about these things. And
yes.
When this came up as one of the topics of conversation, he's like, yeah, I just started going down this rabbit hole of different stuff, and let me just let you hear one so that you can get an idea as to what it is I'm talking about. And I have to tell you that it stuck with me all day long. Like, it was just so horrific to me that I couldn't even imagine what it must be like to be a 911 operator, or to have to.
You have to literally be able to physically, just mentally detach yourself from what you are hearing, or else you won't be able to do your job.
Exactly. There's been a lot of 911. Did we talk about this the other day about, one of the calls, like the woman was so traumatized by it that she quit?
I'm sure that happens a lot.
Like a week later.
How can it not?
I know. It's like an air traffic controller after an accident. It's like, yeah.
Can you imagine you're hearing people on the worst day of their lives usually? It's got to affect you in some way.
Yeah, I guess.
If not, then there's something wrong with you.
I guess. Well, happy Halloween to everyone, nonetheless. And while we were talking, I decided that I'm going to post on Radio Gunk.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Shane. I'm going to post tomorrow the pictures that I took one time when I was walking past Howard's apartment building. And the way he has bitched and moaned constantly about how horrible the Halloween decorations are at his building. So I went in under the guise of wanting to look at an apartment, and while they were making some phone calls to the management to see if they could find somebody to show me an apartment, I decided to take some pictures of what Halloween actually looked like.
So you're saying you use your white privilege to get in there. What do you think would have happened if I would have said that I was interested in looking at a place? You think they would have hit the old swiggy button underneath the...
No,
the
Mr.
desk?
Xavier, there's no.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No. We don't need no janitor.
No. Okay, yes, I did use my white privilege, and I used it to take pictures
Good
of
for
Howard's
you.
lobby. So I'll post that tomorrow. Maybe I'll actually do a stupid little show, like sometime at night, just to kind of throw that out there, because it's fun, and yeah, okay, it might be a little bit stalkerish, but not really, because I just wanted to see
Who cares?
what was so
It's not like
horrible.
it's not like he's been there in fucking 2
It's not like he
years.
lives there anymore, exactly.
Exactly.
So the news about him putting another like couple of $1 million into his house down in Palm Beach. So anyway, those will be things we'll discuss.
Maybe he's putting out the world's biggest
Yeah.
pumpkin to give out candies to the kids.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen because there's any kids in that neighborhood. Oh wait, are we talking about the Hamptons or are we talking about Palm Beach?
Palm Beach is where he got the permit.
Palm Beach is very similar in look, like I told you, like Bel Air, where everything is behind like these super high hedgerows, and just maybe one little gate like somewhere in the middle of it all.
If there's a bustle in your hedgerow,
don't be known now.
Hey, maybe he bought maybe he bought Rush Limbaugh's corpse.
Exactly.
It's only a couple. It was only a couple of like houses down.
So maybe I'll do a little quickie show tomorrow with my pictures from Halloween, and this is from 3 years ago, as a matter of fact.
Yes, it was.
While he was still living there. And it's really just to show you that you can't believe that he would bitch about something so innocuous as
did the front desk have like a glass top and a lot of little scratches on it from Beth living there?
You know, it's interesting. When I was there were like 2 or 3 cat cages in the corner. I wonder if I can see them from the pictures now that I'm like thinking about it. I'm not.
Kyra, that's like very regular. This is our little side hustle for fun. We
Yes,
totally
it's our
do
side
this
hustle.
for fun. So
It's our side hustle.
So
wait.
this is 100% for fun.
Yeah, so you should know though that we couldn't do the Gary show last week because of the tapes and the recordings. They were just too long and there were too many of them. I received like 67 of them in total, and it was just too much work to get them all together within a couple of days. And then actually going to have a fun guest on the Eric the Midget show. There's a dude who runs the Eric the Midget Instagram, and every day he posts like just the most ridiculous tweets that Eric did, or the podcast that he did on EGT and stuff like that. So he's going to come on with us when we do that show, and depending on how quickly we can get the clips together.
On that note, I'm losing my hard boner, so let's
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Serial killer boner, in effect.
serial killer. Yeah, thanks a lot, dude.
I was just trying to see my Halloween pictures to see if I could see.
Likely story.
All right, you bastard. All right, so let's get this show on the road. All right.
Enough about Beth doing coke and.
Oh my God! Allegedly, stop that.
Allegedly. Okay, yeah. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Kyra, we are going back to
I'm
it.
talking about Beth Horowitz. So, anyway.
From Scarsdale.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'll probably do a little something tomorrow night about Howard's Halloween. And then we will get back to regularly resumed shows next week. And then, Xavier and I will probably do this again when we feel like it. Probably after Thanksgiving leading up to Christmas.
We are tentatively thinking of doing creepy holidays, creepy Christmas themed December shows. Because a lot of horrible things have happened in December. So
I have no idea who is calling me on FaceTime.
Uh-oh. It's Reacher.
It's so weird. Why is it coming in on here? Declined.
Dude, that kind of reminds me of one of our little clips. Wow. Is it phone number 000?
No, it's like a +49, and a long distance.
Your car warranty is expiring.
Yes, exactly.
You buy car warranty now.
Okay, you pay now.
You pay warranty.
Okay,
You pay for extra assault protection.
Okay, so what are we starting with? Thank you, Lauren.
I think Laura's just doing that so we can stop talking about this ridiculous. So the one that says on air. So let's commence. Okay. Let's commence with our.
Let's commence this exciting activity.
And this
all right.
This really doesn't need any intro here. Hang on.
I didn't do that.
So I know most of you guys are familiar with the Golden State Killer. Oh my God! Hang on, my dog needs to say something.
Bunny.
What do you want? What do you want? What do you mean we're taking too long?
Bunny.
Okay, we'll get on to the show. Sorry, we'll stop talking about Beth.
Bunny.
She didn't like that we hadn't started the show yet.
All right, so get going.
We are the weirdest fucking people that ever did a podcast.
You know the funniest thing? Oh, that's Germany? Oh, that's curious.
Ooh. Deutschen Matchego?
Scheiße. Okay, so what do we got?
Speaking Deutschen?
What's our first?
You
stop it.
You
We're
buy
so
protection
ADD.
for your
Stop
German
it.
car.
Yes, exactly. You will pay more.
You need to put metric air in the tires.
Did I even tell you how much the oil change was the
Yeah. Trust me, this podcast ain't paying for that. Anyway, sorry. Okay, let's get a grip on ourselves here. Das warranty expired. That's right. We need you to get your car to the chopper.
All right, come on, let's go.
It's
time.
Your car doesn't have a tumor.
Xavier, it's time. It's
the
time.
Stupidest waste of technology.
Oh my God! Now I'm hot. Now I have to put the AC on.
Okay.
I hate you. Hold on.
Hey, Justin, how's it going?
Hey, hold on.
You got that $5 for me? Anyway,
Okay.
let's go back to let's try to regroup. So our very first clip is a person that needs no introductions. It's the Golden State Killer. The Golden State Killer in the 70s began his spree of rape and murder that lasted decades. One of his trademarks was one of the first known serial killers that openly taunted the authorities, the police, and he would call and taunt the police, because this is the 70s. 70s, back then you didn't have any of the sort of technology we have now, where you instantaneously know if you're being called from Germany for your warranty. So of the 8 known calls from the Golden State Killer, only 3 of them. Thanks, Justin. Only 3 of them were actually recorded. Here are the 3. I know you've heard some of these. These are the full 3 clips. So
I'm still laughing at Das warranty expired.
Yes. Hey. Horror.
I'm sorry.
You're killing the horror boner, man. Come on.
Horror boner. Sorry.
Here we go. This is the Golden State Killer.
Okay.
Police department sheriff speaking. You're never gonna catch me, you scary rapist, you dumb fuckers. I'm gonna fuck again tonight. Be careful.
So what was he saying there?
He said, "You'll never catch me, you dumb fuckers." A serial killer. I'm the big killer. So he kept it short and brief. The second call was in 1978, a year after this call. Remember, there were more than the 3 calls that we have here. Of the ones that are known, only a couple of them were actually.
Well, I have
recorded.
a question though about this.
Yes.
Why is this recorded?
That's a good question. Well, this woman was his first known rape victim, so for some reason, maybe they thought
had she been getting phone calls? Was this because
we do not know? I'm the fact that she was recording her phone calls leads me to believe that they suspected that he was trying to call her. And back then, white pages, everybody has names listed.
Oh my God, I make crank phone calls all the goddamn time. I mean, that's what we did.
So there's just 2 quick phone calls. The first one is him calling in his normal voice, and he's just checking to see if in fact this is his rape victim. and asking, if Ray's there.
Hello? Yes, Ray there? Pardon me? Is Ray there? I'm sorry, Mr. Wrong.
Land shark.
So that
Hello,
was
is
quick.
this Land Shark? Land Shark.
He was establishing that she, in fact, was at that phone number. Now, it's what we assume was the most patient fucking person in the history of prank phone calls, because this call goes on. Wait, this would have lasted like 2 seconds for me. And let's listen.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Bitch. Sweet Connor bitch.
And she's still on the phone with him.
Yes.
Would be amazing if, like, in the background you heard somebody saying, "Johnny, what are you doing on the phone?" And it's like, Ma, I'm making a phone call. Stop it. But wait,
Yeah.
so she wound up getting raped after this.
No, he attacked someone. Well, the first phone call where he called and told the police, he attacked someone the next day. So he was just being a fucking prick, obviously. And the second one was he had already raped her. It was his first known victim.
Okay, so she had already been raped, hence the reason I think she's recording the phone calls. I bet you that he had probably been tormenting her prior to the rape.
Well,
I'd like to actually look into that. I'd be interested in knowing why.
Remember, like, he got off on being this sadistic motherfucker. He would sometimes not kill the boyfriend, but have the boyfriend tied up, hands behind his back, lying on his stomach. Then he would put plates over his back while he raped the girlfriend or wife. So basically,
like Handmaiden's Tale.
Yeah, like if you, well, that's probably where they got that from. If I hear these plates fall on the ground, and they were already precociously just on his back, so they were a sneeze away from falling, he was gonna kill them both. And he didn't bullshit. When he said he was gonna kill someone, he killed them. There was a meeting, like one of these, like at the rec centers, where in a neighborhood that he had been frequent, and he attended the meeting, and people were up, and the people were, casting aspersions at the police for not doing their job, for not catching this guy. One dude got up, and he kind of shamed the victim, saying that, well, what the fuck is wrong with you that you let your woman get raped? I wouldn't fucking do that. Oh my god, goodness, thank you.
Oh my god, Ida, why? Stop it.
So that's amazing, thank you.
I love Ida, by
so
the way.
He followed that couple home, and they were his next victims. He was a sadistic motherfucker.
But wait, did he start out killing people, or was he known as a rapist and then a killer?
He was a police officer who they assumed he started off with petty theft. Show up at a crime scene, take a couple of things, then, hey, shit's good. He would start breaking into people's houses and stealing shit. That it's kind of like a gateway drug for him. Then he became obsessed with raping people, and then that wasn't enough. It had to become. It just continued this like downward spiral of just absolute fucking
Depravity.
just horror. Yeah, depravity, exactly. And so if anybody challenged him, he would make sure that he would take care of them. He did not fuck around. Yes, he was a police officer.
I didn't know
And
that.
that's why he got away with it for the most part, because he would hear the police call, he would hear when the did they have 911 in the 70s? Yeah, okay. I don't even remember. I was a kid. I just remember you dial operator. It took forever for that dial to come back around.
I don't know. I've never in my life dialed 911, so I have no
I
idea.
have more than one, but
Yeah.
not in the 70s as a kid, obviously. So what he did is he knew what the cops were going to be looking for. He knew where the cops were. He knew what the lowdown was before he even, he did his homework. He did his due diligence to make sure that he never got caught.
I mean, I realize he's his own separate entity in terms of podcasts, but
Yes.
just the creepiness of his voice is really disturbing.
He was a fucking
Just a
he was fucked
disturbed
up
individual.
on every, because he was called the Nice Stalker for a while, and so was Richard Ramirez. And so people were like, when you think, Richard Ramirez was clearly the more fucking violent of the two, it's not necessarily true. This guy was a fucked up human being. He on every fucking level. Oh, excuse the F word. Sorry.
I know.
Sorry,
I have a whole
YouTube.
thing here that just says no curses. I'm trying to be a good girl tonight.
Okie dokie. But nonetheless, you can see how sadistic it was. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough that he did these horrible things. He had to torment his victims as well.
All right,
afterwards.
he's a troll's troll. Yeah, I get it.
You can say that, and he's definitely a full podcast in the future.
At least he put his money where his mouth is, though.
It says, okay, put on Melvin.
Oh, okay. Let me read
AT&T
that.
made its
Okay.
first implementation on its Huntington, Indiana, on March.
Okay, let me read.
Okay.
AT&T made its first implementation in Huntington, Indiana, on March 1st, 1968. However, the rollout of 911 service took many years. For example, although the city of Chicago, Illinois, had access to 911 service as early as 1976, the Illinois Commerce Commission did not authorize telephone service provider Illinois Bell to offer 911 to Chicago suburbs until 1981. Who knew?
Well,
I had no idea it was that late.
We will be talking about 911 in a little bit in more detail, and one of the things that made them change how they did business.
Okay. What do you got for us now?
So I think we should next go over to. Okay, let me stop sharing this one. Move from studio. It disappeared.
Poof.
And,
Where do you want me to go next?
so now we're gonna go over to our buddy. Do you
Oh.
see the one that Randy Stair?
I got it. Hang on. I just don't want it to start.
Okay, so Randy Stair was one of the fraternal brother of the mass shooting brotherhood, and his shooting spree it took 3 co-workers' lives, but the way that he decided for this to go down, and which he videotaped, which we were about to show you, obviously, is just so the triviality of how
Why?
like why he would, like how he decided to do it is so fucked up that people's lives literally were decided on something as trivial as a flip of a coin.
All right,
So
I want to
here-
read this. Can I read it?
Yeah, you can. But this is basically, he kept a journal. For those who don't know, which hopefully all of you don't, because you guys aren't like the YouTuber Nickelodeon crowd. At least I hope you're not. This cat was a very popular YouTuber, had a huge following for a while, and he did his, he was basically like what was those imbeciles that do the boxing, like those guys.
I hate those guys.
Yeah, it's basically one of those dime a dozen emo hair.
Yeah, but they made millions of dollars, those assholes.
Well, listen, and this kid actually made some decent scratch, and he actually put his money into a cartoon that he thought for sure was going to be a fucking hit, and it just bombed. So he went down the spiral of psychosis, and he kept. I mean, all this is available online. We're not claiming the exclusivity to any of this shit.
I know, but if we're going to throw it out there as a podcast, people will.
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, I'll see if I can read it though. This will be my last entry. This was on Monday, June 5th, 2017. To finish up everything and get it uploaded by tomorrow afternoon. Laura fucking screwed me over with Rachel's voiceover. Okay, so he started a cartoon basically.
And
He was commissioned to. He got the go ahead, right, to
he
do
did,
a cartoon.
He did it. I did it 100% all by himself. The only other people that worked on it were voice actors that he hired, which he was crazily unhappy with.
Oh, okay. I'm so ready to die. Two more something nights, and that's it. I've officially accepted that Wednesday night will be the death of me. Everything around me seems to have faded away. It felt as if I'm the last soul alive on this planet for the last week. I've never felt so distant from something, and love, nothing feels the same anymore, blah, blah, blah. So he's like all just, I wish I started writing this journal back in 2013. So many things have changed. I've never felt so close to returning back to my spirit, mind, body.
Now,
The girl in me is clawing to get out. 62 more hours. Yeah, explain that to people.
He had sexuality problems, and that he wanted to be a girl. But he didn't just want to be a girl. He wanted to be a cartoon girl. And he had convinced himself, hey guys, hey Canada, hey Scarlett, hello, thank you for joining us.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
So he wanted to be one of these little Nickelodeon looking cartoon girls. And he firmly believed that, well, you can kind of say he was trans. He didn't know he was trans. I think he would have been happier if he just put on a dress and get the fuck out of the house.
Yes, Randy Stair. Stair, right?
Stair,
yeah, that's him.
Yeah. And, well, he got it in his head that when you die, you can come back as whatever you want. And he thought he was going to come back as his lover, a cartoon character that he created himself. So he fell in love with his own character.
What was the character's name? We decided.
It is. It's the E whatever.
We had just looked it up. I wrote it
Yeah,
down.
we just did.
Oh, we suck.
It doesn't really matter. So anyway, here, we're gonna start playing this. So it'll take a second to get to it. And what's creepy about it is just the fact that he decides to commit suicide, and how he decides where he's gonna commit suicide. It's gonna be, he's gonna blow his brains out with a shotgun at home, or he's gonna go to work and kill everybody there and then kill himself.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it sounds fun, right? So let me play for this because it's just, and this is his lover. He is in love with this cartoon character that he created. So here we go. And when you see him, you're gonna go, oh, okay, that figures. So he was Ember's Ghost Squad.
Oh, Ember's Ghost Squad.
So here it is.
EGS, there we
so
are.
he was, and what's worse about it, how coy he was. He started, like, oh, something fun's coming up and shit. He would post on Twitter.
So here's what Ember's Ghost Squad says. These are going to be the longest 17 days of my life. So many big and exciting things. Mark June 7th on your calendars because you probably won't witness anything quite like this again. Just saying. The biggest EGS video to date will be released. For fans of Pioneer Productions, there will be massive digital releases of videos, photos, edits, soundtracks, etc. from the last 9 years. There will be never before seen or heard private audio recordings and journal entries from the last 6 months, and never before seen scrap EGS projects, all on one digital page with individual downloads of your choice, all free. 9 years calls for something massive. It's going to be an interactive endeavor unlike anything I've done before. I'm pumped.
And yeah. So he was a big fan of Klebold and Harris from Columbine. And when you see him, you're gonna go, yeah, okay, it makes sense.
Of course he is.
And this is one of his last posts. So
Yeah.
you can-
Bye. Bye, Andrew.
Okay, that's
The deal.
Look at him.
Here we go. Here we
Okay.
go. This-
Okay, so here's the deal.
The emo hair kills
Got a
me.
1983 quarter right here. You believe in fate? Here's the fate test. I'm gonna flip this 3 times, or the best out of 3, rather. And if it's heads, I'll do it here. If it's tails, supermarket. That's a tails. That's a heads. Ooh, one of each. Tension's building up. It's a tails. That's tails. You realize, if I flip this next coin,
Look, he's so anorexic too. Jesus.
there's going to be
He could lose
devastation
5
and
pounds.
destruction.
Yeah.
Tails.
American Eagle shirt. Loser.
That is a tails, folks.
I thought it was a questionable tails, by the way.
Tails.
Very much so.
Goodbye, outdoor, out of ground pool.
Which means there's going to be a loss besides my own. Possibly more than one.
Yes, he did. He killed 2
That's
gentlemen
fate
that
for
had
you.
families and a female co-worker. And this is
So what
his
is this?
character. This is Amber. And you can see kind of like in the video blog, well, YouTube didn't let see, but he was basically, he had 200 rounds and 200 rounds for his co-workers. He did a lot of Amber Ghost Squad postings and
You want to pause it?
No. We'll go
Okay.
through. This is his work. He showed up the night before, and he strategically blocked all the emergency exits, so that when he started his little rampage, nobody would be able to get the hell out.
This is a Weiss's, ladies and
There's-
gentlemen.
I'm not
Pennsylvania's finest.
I'm not kidding when you say there's literally hundreds of videos and postings that he did leading up to this. You could literally
Really?
spend an entire day.
Yeah, I was
he
going
was
to
very
do a little...
he was
deep dive in this.
very prolific, and
In what? Like, what did he do? What was his usual fare?
He was an ass clown on YouTube, like all these other guys, and it wasn't enough for him. He wanted to have play that shotgun video, right? He wanted to be a female cartoon character. So he had a good following. I mean, he's got a million times what we have, and he could have made a decent living. Just keep doing his stupid, these silly videos that these guys do. But
Can I just read you? I'm just looking at him on my iPad.
Yeah.
Just a little backstory on him.
exactly.
Andrew Blaze was born on September 17th, 1992, as Randy Stair. From the night he was born to the day he died, Randy was an isolated individual who never seemed to fit in anywhere. He made friends throughout his early grade school years, but never seemed to be able to hold on to lengthy relationships. He never dated once in his life, remained a virgin, and would usually only speak when spoken to. He probably was a little Aspergery too, I bet you. However,
Sounds like it.
what people didn't know were the dark and sinister thoughts that circulated through his head. Randy may have been quiet around friends and classmates, but alone he was an entirely different person. So he was definitely mentally unstable. He,
100%.
yeah, people were often convinced that he had a personality disorder, was gay, an introvert, or a total screwball. Whether those assumptions were true or false, Andrew made it very clear in his opening theme song for EGS that he doesn't care what people think. In his final years of
JD.
his life, what, babe?
Someone just said
JD, exactly, totally. In his final years of life, he began documenting his thoughts and intentions on cassette tapes and private journals. Not too dissimilar to our Bjork guy, I think.
That's the
Eventually
thing.
changing his name to Andrew. Many friends questioned why he opted for a name change out of the blue. Some viewed it as a persona, others as a fantasy act. What the teen weren't aware of was the veil that masked the monster on the inside. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do a little rabbit hole
We
dig
will
into his tapes.
definitely
I'm wanting
include
to
this
see
guy.
him.
This will definitely be a future full show.
Yeah, I like it. Okay,
Yeah.
Go for it.
okay, so here is this is all his footage that was discovered later. He's just showing the layout.
the beefaroni,
triviality-
the
Okay,
Oh.
how trivial shit was with him. Oh, excuse my language. How trivial things were with him.
It's too
In
babe.
that when-
babe.
when-
the
when-
damage is done.
Okay,
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so when he went in to do his murder spree, at one point, remember all these supermarkets have surveillance cameras. He stands behind one of his coworkers who had noise canceling headphones on, and she was like restocking the Doritos or something. Stood right behind her, then just walked away. Didn't touch her. It wasn't until later when she took off her headphones that she heard the screams and the shootings.
So she had no idea.
She had no idea. And he killed the manager, and he killed.
This guy's cooler than JD.
Yeah, this guy's cooler than G. Okay, and
That
this
hair,
is-
though. That hair.
This was the absolute last thing he ever recorded, and you can
He's
see
still
the-
wearing that shirt. So was that other video from the same day?
I
Oh,
don't
that was
know.
the heads or tails.
Yeah.
Heads I do it here, and tails
Okay,
I
but
go to the store
But this
and kill
was the
everyone.
actual last video he did. So here he goes.
Brings back memories, doesn't it? What happened? Whoever would have thought that a cartoon character would cause this to happen? Yeah, it's all thanks to Ember. Ember changed everything. All goes back to her. She's more than just a cartoon. Let me tell you. I'm gonna be dead before next week ends. I'll be dead. Legit dead. Thank you for all the late nights. Thank you for all the live streams. Thank you for all of your support, all of your feedback, no matter how good or bad it was. And I hope I've helped make a difference for you. And sadly, I'll never know all the lives I've touched, all the lives I've changed. Helped change, rather. I'll never know. I won't. Alright.
That's it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go kill some people at Weiss's.
This is Andrew Blaze, signing off. For the
In a
last
blaze of
time.
fury.
See some of you soon. Andrew, out.
I hate
Secrets
him.
out. So he murdered co-workers, went back to the deli section, put a shotgun in his mouth,
Our
and
favorite place.
blew his head off.
So may as well take some nice, kindly people who had children and were parents with
Yeah.
you stupid piece of shit scumbag.
Once again, can you imagine that was your father, and your dad literally died on a coin flip? That's
Yeah, coin toss.
That's pretty fucked up.
With that last one being kind of questionable, not gonna lie,
Very questionable.
because he wanted to do it, and again, now how old was this kid?
He's a teenager, like 17 or something like that.
So whatever he was, okay. So he died in 2017. I'm not sure when he was born, but nonetheless, how do these kids get a hold of so many guns? And you clearly he lives at home. It's like, how does nobody know? I mean, I get it. My room was disgusting. My mother never came into my room. She never cleaned it up. She was like, fuck you. You want to live in a pigsty? Knock yourself out. But she would know if I had a cache of guns, hidden under my bunk bed.
Yeah, there's
Like-
another story that we're not doing today. It's two brothers who commit femicide, the term which means you kill your family.
Familicide. Familicide? Familicide?
Femicide.
Okay.
They stabbed their family to death, but they had a massive amount of like tactical equipment. So apparently it ain't that hard to get a hold of this stuff. I mean, mankind had to start somewhere, right?
Mac, he's playing. He's playing.
Yeah.
G. Canada said, please, he's such a loser. He had to film the coin flip 20 times to get what he wanted. I bet you're right.
Yeah.
I bet you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Who, the Beaver Brothers?
The
Beaver Brothers.
could be. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't know. Who these
Once
people
again,
are.
another worthy story. It is so gruesome, and some of the tactics that they use to kill their family. We're talking about kids. They're kid brothers, kid sisters. is so messed up that it's like, yeah, it's gonna be its own show.
And what I love even more about those type of murders is when the actual kid who does the killing then calls 911 and is like,
No, not
yeah,
these guys.
I have some video
Oh, yeah,
of
of
other
course,
ones
of course,
where
of
they're
course.
like, he's like, yeah, I just killed my mom and dad. They're inside.
The weeping killer. The weeping killer is a famous serial killer who would call 911, call the police, and say, "I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I keep doing this."
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah,
I feel so bad for you.
The world's a horrible place.
Now, are there more things on that particular stream of video?
Now we're gonna go to the one with the white pillars.
Okay, so you can delete that one if you would like
I
to.
will-
And then I'm gonna go here.
Okay, so let's flash as if Police is in
Okay.
Los Angeles. This is an unsolved case.
I
think it's Los
didn't want to
Angeles.
hear this when.
This is an unsolved case caught on someone's ring door video. There's no like conclusion to this. This is just a horrible something that was caught on someone's ring video, and you guys can decide what it was. Here we go.
Okay, and then we'll talk about it afterward.
It's a woman being dragged into a van or a SUV. So, happiness. So,
No.
yeah, no, hang on, that's fine. So that last little blood curdling story is either someone's misunderstanding or the end of someone's lives, and the police were so stumped that they just released that video, hoping that it would jog someone's memory, and it never did.
Jog someone's memory. You
Well,
could probably hear that from like blocks away.
Well, let's just say you were driving somewhere near and you saw a van or what SUV or whatever that was. You know, maybe hopefully that you're like, oh, you know, you had one of those driving cameras or something. I don't know. So
That's kind of like the story
here,
of.
I think that's worth watching one more time. Here, let's
Oh
watch it
yeah,
again.
yeah. Let's do it again.
Let's watch it again.
It kind of reminds me of that woman who was killed in that
Hans.
apartment building
Yeah.
back in the 50s.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Hans, we don't know. We don't know. That's the thing about this. It's there's no. If it was fake and like, oh, that's just fake. Yeah, someone at 2 a.m. or whatever it was decided to go screaming bloody murder in a quiet neighborhood. I think someone would have been chastised for that.
Yeah.
But that's it. We don't. Could be fake. Could be real. Could be nothing.
Thank you, Super Trooper. Kitty Genovese. Kitty Genovese was a girl in the 50s, I believe. I could
Yeah,
be
that's-
completely wrong with this.
Yeah.
But she was screaming bloody murder, and nobody
helped.
wanted to get involved, and
Amber
nobody
lamps.
helped her.
It's
Yeah,
like
nobody
amber
called the
lamps.
amber lamps. Nobody called the amber lamps.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people know like the reference to that, but
Yeah.
okay.
Okay,
Let's
here.
let's watch it again because it really is horrible.
Yeah, it is. By the way, that was a 4-cylinder vehicle, clearly. Nonetheless,
So nothing happened with it.
so that's the crutch of it. Hey, knock it off! Stop!
Is she knocking on the door?
Yeah.
What is she doing?
Nah,
Little ear scratch?
she
What's
doesn't
going
like
on there?
that. Yeah.
Ah, Jesus Christ. All right, that was
So okay,
horrible.
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So how old is that? I mean, Ring is relatively new. So when was that from? Do you know?
I think it was maybe within the last couple of years.
Ah, Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this next video
All right, hold on. I'm trying to read some comments here. The woman screaming wasn't the abducted one. Some curious things going on what I'm reading here.
Yeah.
I think Kitty Genovese was gay, too. And there was some homophobia to the investigation.
I already like retaking the
Interesting.
rehab.
What?
Yes, I am.
Ernest Rivers says, why the fuck was this suggested to me? Because it's fun to hear scared people, silly. All right, what do you got next?
Okay, so next is...
Are you reading the comments?
and yes, absolutely.
Yeah, he doesn't talk like this with me in the mornings, I'll tell you that. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, okay, guilty as charged.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking weird shit. This next story is a 9-year-old girl. On April 16th, 9-year-old, and her 2 young sisters were at home in Gallup, New Mexico. Their mother was at a bar with her friends, and the 3 children were being looked after by a babysitter. In the early hours, the mother returned, inebriated, and passed out thanks to Jack Daniels. She fell asleep into an alcohol-induced sleep, and at 3 a.m. there was a knock on the door, and the front. both her and her sisters went to the door, and the other side, someone said, "This is Uncle Joe." Uncle Joe. Now you got me laughing, man. Uncle Joe said the voice on the other side of the door, "Hurry up, let us in. We're cold." According to his sister, she immediately was grabbed by the 2 men outside. She kicked and screamed, but to no avail. And that's the last time she was ever seen. This is 36 years ago. She's still considered a missing person. But that's tragic enough. 1 year later, the Galveston Police Department received this phone call.
Police Department. Hello. I'm Antoinette Garibito. Okay, whereabouts in Albuquerque? Hello? Antoinette, where are you? Antoinette? Hello?
That was a woman talking, by the way. I know that the wording there said, man says, "What are you doing on the phone?" But that was definitely a woman.
It sounds like a feminine voice.
Somebody kidnapped her to take her as their own child.
The police assumed that she's dead at this point. This is like, almost 4 decades now.
I don't know. If any of you ever listen to my Setia one-on-one, you will know that, the guy had like 3 kids that never went to school, never did anything. And, we have no idea whatever happened to them.
Okay, well,
But
interesting recently, the last few years, you know how there's a lot of people on the internet that love to just do their detective work. There was a Jane Doe that was, that they did one of those clay, what they might look like, and the Jane Doe resembled a lot like the police mock-up of what Antoinette would look like now in her 30s. So people was like, okay, well, that, that could be it. But we, once again,
DNA?
lot of these stories have no...
Well, why not DNA? I mean, can they get...
I don't know. I don't know if they did DNA. I mean, that's if the police do their due diligence. You got a lot of cases out there, and I'm assuming that someone would show interest in something like this. So, but as of today, she's still.
What was her name so we can remember it?
Antoinette Galladito.
Oh, poor baby.
Here, hey, you know what? These are they're so short that let's listen to this one more time.
Okay.
Now that we got the BX story, here we go.
Police Department. Hello? I'm Antoinette Garibito. Okay, whereabouts in Albuquerque? Hello? Antoinette, where are you? Antoinette? Hello?
Poor baby.
And that was almost exactly a year after she disappeared too. And you know what? Like, what's weird about
Wait,
this?
but
is like,
she was stolen from New Mexico.
yeah,
Yeah, it just goes to show you she literally is in Albuquerque.
Gallup, New Mexico, like Mick Jagger would say.
Right, but she's in Albuquerque, so she's you could be out hiding, in the town next door, and people would never know.
This is 1986, so once again, you would assume any phone call that they could figure out where it came from, but obviously not back then.
Yeah, of course.
Because you would think, oh well, just find out where that phone call came from.
Yeah, no, not so much. That's a shame. Sorry,
Yes.
Antoinette.
Rest in peace.
Sorry you
So,
did. All right.
Okay.
Oh,
so
I
now-
hate this. I hate this so much.
Okay, so next we have what do we say her last name? Ruth Pelkey? Pelkey?
Palenque. But spell it.
Pelke.
Pelkey.
Pelkey. Ruth Pelkey was a 78-year-old American woman who lived in Gary, Indiana. Anybody who's been to Gary, Indiana knows that there wasn't going to be a happy ending.
There is
to
no
this
living
story.
in Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. Who was murdered by Paul R. Cooper, who was 15 at the time. So
And how old was she?
78.
Wow.
Cooper stabbed her 33 times with a butcher's knife before stealing $10 and her car. A year later, Cooper was sentenced to death on July 11th, 1986. So
I know we were doing this Ruth Pelican joke before too, but it's
yes. So here's the thing. This phone call actually is used. It was actually highly debated for a while whether or not this was something that was done by actors, or if in fact it was a real phone call, because it is always used to train 911's dispatchers, in that the operator in this phone call makes, some would say a fatal mistake, in that whenever you see or hear a 911 call these days, the first thing they ask you is, where are you? Where, what's your address? They absolutely won't begin. And some have been criticized because someone's dying and they're being asked, where are you? Rather than how to save that person. So
the thing I hate about 911 calls, though, and I've been, God knows, as we started doing these shows, I started listening to a bunch of them. But I detest when the 911 operator says something like,
Gets all sassy.
are they still breathing? Is there, and it's like the last thing you want to do. I can't even imagine the PTSD as it is of discovering a dead person on the floor. It's like, I'm not going anywhere near that fucking body. I am literally 10 houses away right now. I'm not going anywhere near that. I don't know.
Nonetheless, this phone call is the reason things changed. So let's take a little.
Oh, we forgot that Michael Jackson was from Gary, Indiana. Thank you, David C.
No, he's got that song. I'm going back to Indiana.
Why do you know that? Why do you know anything? I know.
Because I'm off the wall. That's why.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Okay, let's listen.
It's not always black
This
or white.
is a real phone call.
What's the problem, ma'am? Oh, well, there's some guy been checking the place out. Oh. Well, he went in the back. I have an apartment in the back, and he said he was looking for a guy. And he comes to my door, and yeah, and
Yeah?
said he's looking for an apartment.
What was in there?
So I live alone, and I'm an old lady. Mm-hmm. Where is he now, ma'am? I don't have no idea.
Yeah.
She's being stabbed to death. And
Hello?
good night, funny man.
Hello?
But now, if you call 911, that's the first
Bueller?
thing they're going to ask you because of Ruth.
Bueller?
Yeah. Wow, you sure? Yeah, that's Wait for wait a.
Bueller. I don't want to hear that again. I know you're in this like little repeat
And I-
phase of
and
yours, but I'm not wanting
I know
that.
you're like you're essentially doing the podcast version of la 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 la. I can't
That final one. I literally, when you were playing for me it before, I took my headphones off.
I think it's a very primal instinct that these blood curdling screams affect us. It's like I think that's the old fight or flight. You hear that, you get the fuck out of there. It's like, it's not a.
Wow. So G Canada says the Ghost Adventures guys bought that house. Some crazy shows on it. Wait, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the house? Oh, here G Canada says there's a famous haunted house in Gary, Indiana. The Ghost Adventure guys bought it, since torn down, I think. I'm not sure if it was this one. Right, exactly, Jonathan. Or when 911 instructs you to perform CPR. I ain't touching that. I'm not going anywhere near that body. Like, yeah, no, not happening. Is it still breathing? I don't know. Why don't I know? Because I'm already literally 10 houses away.
You would have been the worst member of the Scooby-Doo gang, just so you know.
Fucking A.
It's
I'm
like,
not even Thelma.
Let's go over to Old Man Withers.
I am Scooby. I'm Scooby.
You're with the Scooby snacks in the van getting the F out.
Absolutely. I don't want that in my brain.
This is a creepy show.
I know it's a creepy show,
I
but I don't
know.
want to be. Do you know? No joke. I told you this. I was texting back and forth with KC, and we were talking about where I am and whatever. He's like, I just had a curiosity. Do you have like mace or pepper spray or anything like that? I'm like, no. He's like, okay, I'm gonna mail you some tomorrow. I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I'll get it. I got it. I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. I'm just saying, you'll never hear me blood curdling scream because I'll just die.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. It's okay. Let's move on. This next one is a little scary. I promise.
Stop whispering. I don't like that either. You're being weird. Where are we now? Oh, we're in the middle of this one.
Okay, this next story
Jesus.
is not so terrifying. So, here, let me read this to you.
Oh, you do that.
This started off as a Reddit.
Thank you, Bella.
As a Reddit thing. Okay. And if I have my time again. In February 2016, Reddit user Heaven in Her Arms lost her maternal grandfather. He passed away from mesothelioma.
Don't you remember Robin got money from her father's lawsuit from that and didn't share it with her brother?
A form. Thank you. Don't bring your stern shit into my podcast. Thank you. A form of cancer. Fast forward 6 months later, and Heaven in Her Arms took to Reddit to report that her mother had received a creepy and mysterious voice message. Her mother and daughter of the deceased man had received a call from a sender whose caller ID was area code 00000000000. And so that was not picked up for obvious reasons. That someone calls you with all zeros in their caller ID, you kind of tend to let it go to voicemail. That's where it got weird. So let's pick this up. And the reason we're showing this video is so that you guys can listen to this elderly gentleman's last days on Earth. It's only a few seconds long, but try to pay close attention to his voice. It'll be important in the next clip.
Today, okay?
Okay.
All right. And we have Chuck.
Yeah, I know him.
You know him. I know you know him.
So he's clearly like in a convalescent home, and it's his last days. People should be nice to him. He passed away. 6 months later, the voicemail left on his wife's phone was this.
This is Dad. I was trying to contact you. This is Dad.
So, here's a little transaction from mom contacting the daughter. Got this voicemail and freaked me out. How is it possible from 000 unknown name? Listen to it for a few seconds. It says, "This is Dad. I'm trying to contact you." And who would know more than his wife? Said it is his real voice, So, that's that. She never got another call from that number. Never got another message like that. But just kind of weird little tidbit.
Yeah.
Richard, this is your dad. I know, right? They have very similar. I mean, and the Reddit community, of course, said that. It's someone just screwing with you, obviously. But another theory is that was, in fact, his voicemail that somehow got cached and got forwarded 6 months later. It does happen. It's extremely weird. I mean, it's extremely unusual, but it does happen. But we'll never know. Once again, like I said, a lot of these clips have no ending to them. They're just weird.
Yeah, when my father passed away, I literally saved voicemails from him for like forever. It took all the strength I had. Well, I actually wound up downloading them and putting them on like an email because I couldn't bear looking at them anymore on my phone. It's just weird the way shit happens. But this is even worse. This is worse.
It would be weird to get. It would be very unnerving to get a voicemail from your passed on relative. So.
All right.
Let's march on. Let's continue.
Oh, shall we?
Yeah, it's. I think the next one is probably the creepiest one. It's very like non-threatening, but it's still kind of weird. Okay, here we go.
Can I read it?
Absolutely. This is from Reddit, so take it away, Monique.
Oh, thank you. Because I'm trying to not step on you tonight because I realize you.
Oh, you can step on me all you want. I was just kidding about the whole Stern thing. Come on.
Original post. I use an app called, quote, Sleep as Android to improve my sleep. One of the features is that it records nighttime noises, snoring, sleep talk, cover ruffles, coughing, etc. I've been using the app since October 1st of 2013. I've never caught anything other than sounds created by me changing positions or coughing or something like that, although I've been told several times I talk in my sleep by other people. On 12:30 at 2:04 a.m., I caught something very weird. To set this up, this night I was sleeping in my bed. My 3-year-old was with me that night as he's scared of the dark. It was just the two of us in the whole house. The next night I decided to go through and delete my recordings and saw this particular record. In it, you can hear some clicks that started to get louder over the course of the recording. Eventually you can hear me say, "What are you doing?" And immediately after that there's a deep voice that says nothing. The clicks become very loud at that point, and at the very end of the recording you hear the same voice say, "That's them." Or I think that's what they say. But we can decide for ourselves, I guess. I am pretty creeped out by this. I don't remember being awake that night. The only plausible explanation is that I answered my own sleeping talking, but the voice doesn't even sound like me or something that I could ever emulate. It definitely doesn't sound like a voice my preschooler could emulate either. I have no idea what the clicks could be. I keep a fan going at night for white noise, but the click sounds like they're coming from right near my phone, which is placed right by me on my bedside table. I want to say that I've picked up the clicks a few times on recordings before, but deleted them thinking it was nothing. This is the first time I've ever heard anything, though. I hate this one, too.
So, once again, this is audio from an app that's used to track your sleep. And the Reddit community did its due diligence, and it happens to be someone who claimed to be an audio expert. And the second voice, they said that there's no way it is one person talking in this. So
there's no way.
There's no way. So here we go. Give us a few seconds.
It does sound like he's saying, "I'm done."
Yeah.
Sounds like he was smacking something, or
and
like.
And then she claims she has no conscious memory of talking. She has been accused of talking in her sleep by other people, apparently.
Yeah, but that's definitely not her. It's not her.
Not. It's 100% not her here.
Yeah, that's a guy. Let's hear it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this one. Fucking creepy.
What are you doing? Okay, cool.
It'd be funny if her kid looked like that picture of like Mr. Bean as a baby. It's
Yeah. It's nothing worse than hearing something that you know it wasn't supposed to be there. The next, as we conclude our little fun
fun
trek down the macabre and weird, is a story about Maura Murray. Maura Murray.
I'm going to show a picture so that everybody...
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, let me add that to the stream.
Disappeared on February 9th, 2004, after her car crash on Route 112 in Woodsville, New Hampshire, a village in the town of Haverhill. Her whereabouts remain unknown. She was a 21-year-old nurse student completing her junior year at the University of Massachusetts at the time of her disappearance. On the afternoon of Monday, February 9th, before she left the university campus, she emailed her professor and work supervisor, writing that she was taking a week off due to a death in the family. According to her family, the family had not experienced a death. At 7:27 p.m., a local woman reported a car accident on a sharp corner of Route 112 adjacent to her house. A passing motorist who also lived nearby stopped at the scene and asked the woman driving the car if she needed assistance. She declined, claiming that she had roadside assistance. Upon arriving home several minutes later, the motorist reported the accident to emergency services. At 7:46, law enforcement arrived on the scene, but the woman had disappeared. So, to this day, she's, as far as I know,
body's never been found.
Never
Nothing
been found. But years after her disappearance, a mysterious person by the name of 112 Dirtbag started posting videos.
That's Howard's alternate name on YouTube.
Yeah, right. And he had he's, I think since this started happening, they basically figured out that the dude's just a crazy guy. But so on the anniversary of her disappearance, this video was posted and then deleted off of YouTube.
Wait, I just need a little bit more background on this guy, because I hate everything about him. So how many videos did he actually wind up posting?
Apparently he was a pretty proficient YouTuber, but this video, and they were all just bizarre. The fact that he kept on, making references to Maura's disappearance, and the fact that he posted this video and then deleted it, but it was someone figured out how to get it through archives. So,
and this is on the anniversary of her death?
This is the anniversary of her disappearance. So,
okay,
you don't know if she's alive.
I hate this so much.
Yes.
But doesn't it appear like he's like in a prison, or like in a
prison with good internet, apparently.
A prison with good internet.
No, we don't know.
I mean, it just looks like he's in like some weird basement, prison.
The fact that you notice that, the fact that he has a weird background, but he clearly has like one tooth.
Exactly. He's got summer teeth.
Yeah, there you go. Here you go.
All right, good.
Let's just appreciate this.
Jesus fuck.
He's a little crazy. So now allegedly.
Oh, is that it
he's
for
been
that one? Can I make that go away? I don't want to hear it again.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
Thank
just
you.
go. So allegedly he's been cleared. So, but it's just weird that he became like he wanted to let people think that he was involved in her disappearance. I want to hear the joke that he's laughing at now.
Yeah, no kidding. This is I hate everything about that one, I have to tell you. I just
It's so sinister.
right, it looked like he's reading about her from the reflection. Exactly. It was like
Yeah.
that blue screen
He's-
that they
yeah.
had back then. How old is that video?
She disappeared in Hawaii. Let's see. Let's do.
Let's do a little research on her.
She disappeared in 2004.
What's her name?
Maura Murray. Maura Murray.
Well, who?
Maura,
Maura Murray.
and then
Okay.
Murray like Bill Murray.
Disappearance of Maura Murray.
Now,
Oh, he called himself 112 what? 112 what?
dirtbag or something like that.
Right. She disappeared on Route 112. I guess it takes me a few minutes.
Ah, dun 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 dun.
Dun dun dun
Oh,
dun.
got away with
See?
it too.
You see? Hold on, I'm gonna read from my iPad so I can like take a little look see on this. Route 112, 21 years old. Police traced the vehicle to Murray. Initially treated her as a missing person. On the belief.
I'm very familiar with that story, and we probably should do that one.
Wait,
at some
let me
point.
read.
Like I said, so many of these you could literally do 2 hours on. We're just tickling your tits with a feather on these.
I love those missing kid things, and I love the stories
He showed
about
up.
the families that have been like in a basement with a father. Like
I believe that kid's name was Johnny, and he disappeared. And many years later, someone showed up about the same age he would have been at the time, and with another person.
well, I think that
stayed-
was another case
and
where
he
he
chit-chat with the
wasn't
mother,
him, right?
with his friend. They stayed, they ate, and then they said, "I can't stay here because they'll come after me." And he
And
left
that was
them.
it.
And that was it.
So, but that's different than the one where the kid came back and said that he was the missing kid, and as it
Yeah,
turns
that's
out,
it.
he
Melvin's
wasn't
right.
him. Right?
Yeah. Well, this one they don't know. Once again,
Look at
they
Melvin.
don't know.
Melvin, he knows everything.
But
Johnny
you know what
Gosh.
I mean, once again, like there's so many fractured stories that have no happy ending or no ending on the internet, that you could do this for years and not scratch the surface.
Oh, I remember that story with Johnny Gosh. He disappeared. He was
Yeah.
12 years old. He's been missing for 39 years, 1 month, and 24 days.
At 25, you might start wanting to panic.
At some point you give up.
Yeah,
honestly.
there's a story that there's no media to, that I read recently. It was on it's one of those, like on Reddit. Reddit's just like it's the mecca for weirdness. If you go scratching it deep enough, there's a story that someone posted, like fans only, what do they call it, stars or celebrities or whatever, at performers. What's the weirdest thing that's happened to you? And one, I'll find it and we'll post it.
Sorry, I need to just interrupt for one quick second. Hans Joker, are we still talking about Johnny Gosh? Because I really want to rabbit hole on this, because I think we're maybe confusing two stories.
We might be.
I think Johnny Gosh, there were like some photos. Remember that horrible photo of
Yes,
that
no,
girl
absolutely.
with the Polaroid?
The Johnny Gosh, there was a very similar to those Polaroid pictures of kids in bondage. There was two sets of pictures. One was confirmed to be kids dicking around and making fake photos. The second one, they had nothing to go on. but to assume that it was real.
But I'm looking at this one. He led them to a house where there were dates carved in a crawl space where the kids were kept. So I'm just curious which case that one is.
We will find out during Creepy Christmas.
Melvin says his mom said that he came back and talked to her but could not stay because people being after him. But others think that it was a mental break from his mom making up a visit to her.
Yeah, that's the thing, huh? Like, it's kind of like D.B. Cooper. There's no period at the end of that sentence.
There were remains found that have to be identified as of September 16, 21. Kurt Miller, which case are we talking about here? I'm getting a little confused with which one is which. It is two different stories, right? Okay. So, yeah, we'll take it.
I'm sure there's dozens of similar pictures of weird photos of kids.
We did. That was one of our first shows.
Yeah.
Those fucked up photos of those kids.
Here, let me tell you that quick story real quick. So it was on Reddit, and it was fans only performers. What's the creepiest thing that's ever happened to you? And one of the posts was she was online, and some guy, like, I guess you DM them and said, "Hey, for $5, will you show me your feet?" So she's like, "Well, $5 is $5." She takes a picture of her feet, sends it to him. A few minutes later, "Hey, for $5, will you take a picture of, in a mirror right now?" I'm like, "Sure, $5, whatever, I don't care." So then this kept going on. We kept on making requests for body parts and stuff like that. Something that they're used to every single day. And he then asked her, "Hey, for $10, will you add me to your Instagram?" And she's like, "Well, there's literally nothing on my Instagram, so who gives a shit?" So sure. So she emailed him the information to get to her personal Instagram. Well, she gets a DM on her Instagram, and the picture is of the outside of her house. And she fucking freaks out. And then she gets another DM, and it's looking inside her window.
Jesus.
And then there's another one inside her house. Of course, she got the fuck out, and that it just shows you what fucking creepness the internet. The internet is like the perfect tool for creepy people.
Well, the internet has let the inner creep. Internet has let the inner creep out. Internet has allowed trolls to populate.
That's not the only one though. There's another one where it's very similar, where some dude they left a flash drive in front of his door, and he started looking at it, and it's pictures of, some people at the lake, people at a park. And then there's a picture of people in a crowd, and he's one of the people in the crowd. It's like, oh, this is weird. And then there's another picture of his house. Then there's another picture of him on his computer outside, taken from outside, because, at night you can't see what's on the other side when you have the lights on.
Yeah.
It's a picture. And then there's another picture of inside his kitchen. And then another picture of his wife sleeping in their bed. And there's another picture of him sleeping in the bed.
Does she have that sleepy time app that other chick has?
Right. So it's like that couple claimed they moved the fuck out of that house, obviously.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I can. Scary neighbors are a horrible thing too. I mean, that's just awful. That's just awful.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate everything about this show.
I live amongst law enforcement, so I'm good.
You also have a
very vocal
tombstone.
German.
You have a tombstone in your backyard, babe.
I do.
Which is the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, how did you actually discover that?
Well,
obviously, when you bought the house, you didn't know it was there, right?
I was in escrow.
Yeah.
And there's fruit trees in my backyard. One of them's a lemon tree, and I was so stoked because I always loved lemon trees. And so it's like, okay, escrow was a couple of weeks, right? Whatever it is. And so, they had taken my offer and all that stuff. Escrow was going on, all the process, the wheels were turning. So I go, oh, good. I remember looking at the house. The backyard, the weeds were like 3 feet tall because, the house had been sitting there for a minute. No one had done the backyard. So I'm going to jump the fence to my own house. And
Very
I'm going
funny,
to go,
Canada.
and I'm going to pick some lemons. This is going to be so sweet. I get to eat my own lemons before I live there. So I hop the fence. And my next door neighbor, who's a police authority, I already introduced myself, so he thought it was funny. So I jump over. I go to walk straight to the lemon tree. In between these, like these foxtails are like up to my knees. I'm walking, all of a like, boom! I kick something with my toe. I look down, like, okay, what the hell is this? Like, oh, what the hell? Someone's dog or something. I start clearing out the foxtails. It's a graveyard. It's a tombstone. It's like 4 feet wide and like 2 feet tall, like 2 feet, the other way, and it's about
Jesus.
It's about like almost 12 inches thick of concrete. Concrete and brass.
It's a real tombstone.
And then it's someone's names on there with when they were born and when they passed away.
Yeah,
So-
and not a dog's name, obviously. It's not like Spot McMurray.
It was like it could have been like a 66-year-old dog who you never know, So it's like
so weird.
The date kind of, that's not unless it was a tortoise. Not too many dogs live 66 years. You know what I mean? They don't learn to
You
be-
dig it up and it's a
It was a
parakeet.
parrot. It's a freaking like African gray. All this time they give him like a 300-pound tombstone.
How awesome would that be, though?
Oh, that would be amazing.
That'd be amazing. And you never thought to dig it up.
No, I saw. Come on, everybody
I know. Who am I
post
talking
on
to?
here who didn't see Poltergeist and didn't learn that lesson.
Exactly.
move
Hands.
the
Show of hands. Who would actually
headstones.
dig that up?
You move the
I love-
headstones.
Hans Juker says Japanese man had a girl living in his kitchen for weeks while he was at work. Caught her
Yes.
on camera when he realized stuff was missing.
Yes.
She lived in the cupboard while he was home. Can you imagine? Holy shit. That's yeah.
No, I didn't put flowers on it. Whenever I'm like watering my apple tree or a lemon tree or a fucking tree back there, I always like, hey, how's it going? How's it going? Nothing demonic going on over here.
Did you ever look her up? I mean, how do you not?
I did.
I feel like I think
I did. You can. There's this thing called the Social Security Death something? It's index. I think it's called the Social Security Death Index, where you can look up to see if someone's alive, based on basic information.
Yeah.
And I found a matching age and name, and they're no longer amongst the living. Yeah, well, whatever.
It's just
Dude, I saved so much money on this house. It's like freaking Satan himself could be in the kitchen. I could care less. I'm a cheap bastard. I don't care. Hey, Beelzebub, how's it going? You want some waffles? Boy, I saved a lot of money, didn't I?
Well, how long has she been there? How long?
Well, that's the thing. Nobody knows.
What's the date of death?
You know what? One time I was like near like a city hall, and I went in there just for shits and giggles, and I told the story to the clerk behind. The clerk that handles all that stuff, but I didn't have all the information that I needed. I said, "Hey, so I bought this house, told the story, lemons, blah 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 blah," and the look on her face, like, "What the fuck did you just tell me?"
Yeah, really.
And she says, "You can come in here whenever you want and look through all the information you need to."
And you
I never
didn't.
went back, and I didn't. Too lazy.
That is amazing. Yes, I know. I'm very well aware of your ability to put things to the side. That's something I would have shut up.
Yeah, that's the thing is like it's like Jason Voorhees is like, hey, we don't have to pay that counselor. Great,
Fuck it.
whatever. I'm saving a buck here.
All right, that's actually the creepiest part of your life, by the way. I don't know why it's not something that we make mention of all the time.
There's potentially a dead person in my backyard.
It could be.
Yeah.
And don't even say for a second that creepy things have not occurred in that house. Just saying.
Oh, there have.
I know.
There once was a woman from Nantucket. So one time, like I don't know, a few years after purchasing the house, and the house is a house, whatever. There's an upstairs, there's a downstairs, there's a kitchen, there's a pooper. Friends of mine came over and watching football back when we had San Diego Chargers back in the day. Way back in the day, so we're
The
up there
Jets
watching
of the
football.
West Coast, yeah.
We're the Jets of the West Coast. We're watching football, and some weird. I always get like a weird. It's like my laundry room. I always kind of get like a weird chill when in there, kind of like someone's watching you, kind of feeling. But whatever, save money. Who cares? You can possess me all you want. I save money, and so that had, that feeling had been there since day one. So whatever, I don't care. So we're watching football upstairs, and the kids, it's like I think a 6-year-old kid, a little girl. She's watching Disney Channel, where the fuck it was. We put on there, like, here, watch Disney Channel while your dad and I get inebriated. And all of a sudden we hear blood curdling scream coming from downstairs. And my first thought is this kid just chopped off her finger or something on the door. Or something, but it sounded like a kid just chopped her finger off. We run downstairs. Kid is just white as a ghost, just frozen, and just murder look on her face, like she just saw murder. And I'm like, what's going on? You okay? She's like, someone's talking to me from the wall.
Oh, stop it!
And I'm like, oh my fucking God, you gotta be kidding me! But all the weird shit that's kind of like the feelings and the. Someone tapping you on the shoulder while you're taking a nap feeling. And that did happen before that, where I was taking a nap and someone tapped me on the shoulder. And of course, I was just sleep deprived, so whatever. So this all happened in the same fucking place. And, it's not like the little kid was looped in onto the weirdness. She was watching,
shit.
She's watching Clubhouse Disney or whatever the fuck it was.
Exactly.
And
minding her own goddamn
so
business.
My first thought was like, oh, this is an old home. You can just hear me talking to your daddy. Don't worry about it. It's okay. And the kid was just fucking petrified.
Yeah, no
I'm
fucking
like, come
way
up,
am I
come
believing
upstairs. Come have a soda. Sit there while we watch.
Hang out and watch shitty.
We'll watch Los Chargers. So nonetheless.
Oh, I'm sure that poor kid probably has PTSD.
There was a time where I used to frequent New Orleans a lot, and I'm very familiar with the whole French Quarter. And there's a really cool place called the Zombie Museum, which I highly recommend. It's a place that just sells kind of like
with my
yes,
Madame Laveau voodoo doll.
Exactly. It has they sells voodoo tchotchkes, but they have some really cool historic looking like true voodoo stuff there. And I remember like around midnight ish, walking around with my buddies and like, hey, I gotta go in here, and I tell the proprietor of the Zombie Museum, which is a really cool lady, and told her story like, you know what's going on? Like you have someone who died in your house that doesn't know they're dead. And I'm like, really? She all you need to do is go down there and say, hey, you know what? This is my house now. You need to tell them that you need to leave. And it wouldn't hurt if you burned some sage either. So I a year later, I was drunk and I was like, hey, get the fuck out of the house. I didn't do this sage thing, but I don't know how serious a ghost could take me when I'm drunk. But nothing's really happened since then. So Scooby-Doo ending.
Yeah, because some creepy ass thing that talks through the wall is gonna hear you say, "Hey, dude, get out!" and say, "Oh, okay, sorry,
Exactly.
Sorry, didn't mean to be living in your."
Pardon me. Was I imposing on you? Thank you. Thank you.
Excuse me, we're living in the dryer. It's hot in here.
This conversation gave me the vapors.
It gets so hot in here when you dry those blankets.
I was
declare.
I was going to possess you and have you kill all your fellow employees, but now that you put it that way,
I'm just going to be on my way now.
I'm going to be indisposed.
It's all mind over matter. You realize that. It's just absolute pure insanity.
I think so. For as much as I love that shit, I don't really believe any of it. Excuse me. Oh, look at here. Look at here.
Xavier, every single one of Xavier's.
It sounds exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
The same. Actually, I could be doing some like a Chinese guy 1 second and someone
sounds like an old Jewish
someone
man.
from Afghanistan. It's the same exact. No one ever accused me of being Rich Lodo.
And usually it's an old Jewish guy. It's not even.
Hey, what are you saying?
And then you do. And then when you make fun of me or my family, we're usually complete gindaloons right off the boat. So
Hey, hey, little Mo. Why is there a ghost in this house? What's going on? I made some meatballs. Now they're going to get cold.
The worst accents ever.
It is. It's absolutely. You know, like how John Arm can call in and like literally confound the people he's calling. They're like, "Is that really Johnny Depp?" With me, it's like, "Get the fuck out of here! You kidding me? Is that a dog dying?"
So horrible. All right, so we are done with our shit show for tonight, and we want to wish all of you like a really, really great Halloween. Hopefully, kids come to your home and you can give them all your delicious goodie treats.
Tomorrow is Halloween, which is going to date this podcast for the 3 people that listen to it.
That's okay.
Or as Norm MacDonald used to call Halloween, it's Apple Raisin. It's Apple Raisin Day. I mean, Apple Raiser.
For some reason, I always picture Monique looking more.
Sorry, I was distracted and I fucked up a simple Norm MacDonald joke. It's Apple Raiser Day.
Sorry, I just thought that.
You threw me off and some reason raisin came to mind.
Well, because somebody just said they thought that they pictured me as looking more Mexican, and I don't know why that would be. No, Miss Monique. She's not Mexican.
She's not here. She's not here.
No, she's not Mexican. No.
Anyway, thank you for joining us for our series of silly weirdness.
Yes.
Which included demonic possessions and suicide. So hey.
Yes, there's that. And so when we do return to doing these, I definitely, I was looking at that opening that we did, and I keep forgetting about that Chinese girl at the Cecil Hotel, which I definitely want to get into. And The Shining is something
dozens of stories that we
but The Shining is so perfect for winter when it's nice and chilly.
This is the thought process. We're going to come back around like right after Thanksgiving with these shows.
Yeah.
And do like a whole creepy holiday type of thing. So
that's what Rachel says.
And Xavier looks like Antoinette or that fat guy from Lost.
Wait, what?
Xavier looks like Antoinette or the fat guy from Lost. By the way, if we're going to talk about creepy, the fact that he's on an island for like 8 years and doesn't lose a pound.
Any weight? Hold on.
How many calories were those coconuts you're eating, man? Yeah. So yeah. Oh, you know what, Ida, we are definitely. It's going to be one of the first shows. It's going to be The Shining because of the whole winter, losing your mind type of thing. So
hello.
Ida mentioned The Shining, and we're talking about that's going to be one of the first shows when we come back. Because we figure holidays are a kind of weird time for some. They're very festive for some. It's very kind of like depressing.
I'm laughing at Antonio Banderas.
Yes, that is funny.
He's curiously a mix.
Listen, so I'm trying to put forth our itinerary moving forward.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So like around Thanksgiving, we're going to come back with The Shining and the Cecil Hotel and some really creepy, weird stuff that happened that centers around the holidays. And like all these other shows, we're doing them just for fun.
That's right. These are really just for us.
So for the people that joined us that get it, please come and join us when we return.
Completely self-indulgent, and I don't care what you say. And then I just do want to mention, yes, we are doing Eric the Midget and the Gary Part 2 show in the next 2 weeks, and I'm probably going to go live at some point tomorrow night so that we can, just for old time's sake, review Howard's Lobby in Manhattan and how much he hated, how much, mishigas they did there in terms of all the Halloween displays and how much he hated it and how he complained to the co-op board about it. and I happened to get into the lobby so that you could all see exactly what he's talking about. So,
Is he really saying that he's going to return? I'll when I see it, I'll believe it.
I don't think so.
The only way he's returning is if he's contractually obligated.
Yeah, he's so truthful. By the way, this is the first week I could actually say honestly that I think I listened to maybe 10 minutes of show. Like, no joke.
We'll see when he does it, Melvin.
Yeah.
Those shows are humdiggers either way.
I'm not sure what time tomorrow night. I have a little soiree to go to at like 2:00 in the afternoon that I have to like bring an appetizer for, and I'll do that. And then probably not too late. Maybe 8:00 or something, usual time, whatever.
Is it going to be like Howard, going into the lobby with all the public going, hey, it was a horseradish?
I have to see if I could find some audio tape from when he talked about how much he hated Halloween at his
Good luck.
house. If any of you guys have some audio for me for that I can play for tomorrow night, that would be awesome.
Oh, Robin, they're asking for candy.
I did love your little Zapruder photos about Howard
to me,
and the tile.
If he is going to return, that's going to be what pushes him to do it. Now that the gig is up, they're either going to have to repo that camera on a boom that they have so you don't see the floor anymore, or they're going to have to go to IKEA and get some cheap Persian rugs to throw on to make them identical. But it's so funny that we, like, between you, myself, and the Jackie chair, we kind of put that jigsaw puzzle together and like, that's when he's in Florida. That's when he's at the bowling alley.
Totally.
He's at a freaking bowling alley. And
Actually, I loved it so. I love it so much.
Remember
I'm going to show it to you. Hold on.
Remember? Oh, I deserve a break too. Why are people so mad that I took some time off? Because you're recording from a bowling alley?
Exactly.
Really?
Literally roll down the stairs.
Literally.
Right here. You're going to check
audacity.
this out. Hang on 1 second. 1 second.
Tell
me if you see it.
Fascination.
Okay, here we go. So, picture number 1 is old man holed up in basement. Okay, so this is.
Do you like my little Photoshop circle with no like sort of like a?
It's absolutely horrible.
I just wanted to point out that the pattern on it was identical in both of those little jizz stains on the ground.
Right. So this is exactly where he normally records from. Note the sort of Mexican tile that have a distinct little.
That's called Satillo tile.
Of course, they're custom.
It's Satillo tile, but to have it like in that kind of little divot in it, that's super custom.
That's a custom handmade type of tile.
Yeah,
Shockingly enough, though, when you then look at the bowling alley, you see the exact same tile.
Exactly.
Yes, okay.
It's the
Same
one.
expensive version of Ugly
It's the same
tile.
floor, whether it's 10 feet or 5 feet from the bowling alley.
But he's in the bowling alley.
He's in the bowling alley.
He is definitely in the bowling alley. This is where he's recording from. So every time he tells you that he's exhausted because he's up and
tired.
Okay, so you see how everything's placed here and how this looks. So here's the bowling alley, and then what we discovered. Okay, not only are there the guitars that he puts
courtesy
there.
of Jackie chair. Props are due.
That's right. For Dennis, right. And so you can tell that he's in Florida because A, he has the ugly guitars behind him, but also B, it's a gray slab. And he has a rug over it.
A gray slab.
Like a slate of some sort, right?
Yeah. You can tell if you move like where that corner comes down and the rug joins it.
Here?
It's gray. And if you look at the other picture, you see the Satillo tile.
Right, exactly.
And you can see like where they painstakingly tried to match it, the two. But
totally.
The
on air,
one of the on-air ones is towed in like 5 degrees more than the other. But it's the same books. It's the same bullhorn.
Right.
Yeah, they totally try to make it so people can't tell the difference. Not that anybody would give a shit.
No.
Both places are like $100 million homes. Like, what do you fucking do? But the fact that he's pretending that he can't go a few miles to go into a studio, but then he's flying thousands of miles to be in a different house. It's just it's just hypocrisy to the upthings degree.
Hi, Johnny Troiano. Thank you. I think I grew up with somebody named Troiano. Any thoughts on a Richard Simmons program? That's a really good question. You're actually probably one of the first people to ask for that.
Speaking of creepy, isn't it weird that Richard never found a girl to settle down with?
No, I know. And you know what? Ever since he went into hiding a la Howard Hughes, and nobody's heard boo from him. So it is kind of bizarre, and there's been no updates on him at all. And I'm going to make a note about that right this moment.
He is a modern Maura Murray. See how we tie everything together, ladies and gentlemen?
It all works. It all works. No, he can't lift a fucking bowling ball. Are they Portuguese tile, babe? They probably are. Listen, you know what?
I know
he spared no expense for those tiles.
That type of tiles called a teal tile. Comes in different. It's 12 by 12, 8 by 8, 4 by 4s, and his looks like it's like a 6 by 6 with a special like little notch in it, which makes it really stick out. Because otherwise, you could just say that's the floor at McDonald's. Sarah pointed out.
Melvin, why are Jim and Sam complaining? They are under renewal and had an extension through November of this year, but have been complaining on the air. What are they complaining about? Faction Talk 103 has really no one now that Ellis and the others have been fired. Do you think Jim and Sam stay or go? Unless they have somewhere else to go to. I mean, let's be honest. It's not a matter of getting fired at this point. You'll always listen in life in general. You'll always get a better job when you have a job than when you don't. Look at Opie, for God's sakes. Yeah. So to have a job and be able to negotiate terms with somebody else is a lot different than being fired from there and having to then go find somewhere else to go. I mean, because honestly, other than regular radio, your only two options to this date are Sirius and podcast, right? What else is there?
Let's be completely honest. At this point, radio has turned into the blockbuster of the 20s.
Yeah.
It's like you can either tune into a radio station and hope that Jim Rome talks about the subject you want to talk about, or you can listen to a podcast exactly laser focused on what you want to hear. Why would anybody listen to radio anymore? It's completely
irrelevant.
It is the blockbuster video of the 20s.
It's irrelevant, and I don't really need to hear Howard interview anyone. Honestly.
Exactly. Literally, TMZ in 1 hour span covers every topic that Howard will for a month.
Exactly.
So it's like who cares?
He's irrelevant.
At this point, we're literally sitting on a bench eating popcorn, watching the dinosaur going to the tar pit. That's all it is. Nothing else. It's almost like a morbid career extinction that we're watching.
You're absolutely right. Bluetooth did kill radio. Well, it certainly is going to kill Sirius. And I think what Sirius wants to move more towards the podcast. I was telling Xavier the other day.
You can see them positioning themselves to do that.
Yeah, they're cheaper to produce. Yeah. Literally, here I am in a room with the same equipment as you have in your room. And
by the way, Sirius, since we know you kind of vet these things, our publicist Reacher can be reached.
Reacher cannot be reached right now.
You can just hit us on an email. We can forward it to him so you can negotiate us being on your podcast.
I let him outside so he can bark at deer.
Imagine how nice we would talk to you if you were actually giving us we make $5 a week on this.
Oh my God, commercials.
$6.
This show's been brought to you by Budweiser.
$6 buys our silence.
For all time.
For all time.
I was telling Xavier.
I will be a tap dancing
whore. Exactly.
For $6 a week, serious.
I will take $5 pictures of my feet.
Look at Mo. She can dance.
Damn, she can dance. Yeah, exactly.
It'll be like a Cecil B. DeMille number.
Exactly. Somebody just asked about.
Are alive with the sound of music.
So yes, we are doing Eric the Midget very, very, very soon, and Gary Part 2 very, very, very soon. The guy I was telling everybody earlier, the guy who runs the Eric the Midget Instagram account is going to be on the show with us. So that'll be really cool. His knowledge of Eric is beyond anyone else's, and so it'll be awesome to have him on with us. And we'll
Is he
just
going to talk about the bunny ranch?
I don't know what he's going to talk
You
about.
can't have a show without the bunny ranch. I need to
Listen,
know.
listen.
Was he able to penetrate? I need to know that. He was a little midget thingy.
There's nothing about him I care about or like. I mean, honestly, I don't care. Stop it! Stop! I hate when you do that.
What has this show turned into? It's turned into 30 minutes of blathering.
Fucking nonsense. Just nonsense.
Blah, 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 blah.
All right, so tomorrow we'll talk about Howard's Halloween lobby, and I'll see if I can find the audio of that so that we can talk about it. We are doing everything. I hate Johnny Fratto. I almost want to completely avoid Johnny Fratto because I think that's when
He's a hack.
Eric actually, rolled over the shark. He really did. There's just nothing.
There you go.
It was all kind of set up at that point, and the calls were all set ups, and he would stay on the phone for hours. And that's the
100%
problem. That's the
all
problem
fake.
with Eric the Midget phone calls too, because when he talked like this. So it's so hard. It's turgid. It's turgid to get through those videos.
You know what to do.
So what we're trying to do though with that show is not do the you know what to do. Everybody knows you know what to do. That's just like literally it's like John sending me 17 audio tapes for the Gary show about his pitch. And it's like, no, I don't want to do the pitch again. Everybody knows the pitch.
Okay, well, we're at 1 hour and 47 minutes now,
All right.
so-
All right.
Anyway, once again, thank you for joining us. We'll see you in a few weeks for more Creeptastic podcasts.
Yes, and I am going to do a little quickie show tomorrow for Halloween. So maybe it'll be sometime around 7 or 8 o'clock. So yeah, everybody, thank you for joining us. And here's my little like and comment and
Thank you, Johnny.
that thing and the bell and all that good stuff. So everybody have a great night, and thank you so much for joining us on our little silly creepy endeavor.